What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I, of course, am your host, Jimmy Smith, and tonight we are going behind enemy lines once again, getting to know the Eagles' upcoming opponent. Obviously, we all know that the Dallas Cowboys do indeed suck, but let's find out how much they do. Now, to be real with you, as much as we dislike them, they are pretty good on offense. Defense, they seem to be improving. So we are definitely going to have quite the tough task ahead of us this Monday night. Monday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. Our first Monday night game, special game to all of us when it's Eagles and Cowboys. But prime time, it's going to be the whole world watching, going down to Dallas. Oh, my Lord, I can't wait. Let's go get this W. But it's going to take a lot to get there. So join me tonight as we do go behind enemy lines with the Dallas Cowboys. But of course, before we get into any of that, we will go over the Eagles news from today. Hello, Nina. Hello, everyone out there. Thank you for taking the time on this beautiful Tuesday night. Hopefully, you're all having a great night. If you guys have any questions or comments, you know that you are always more than welcome to throw them my way. We're here to talk some birds, so whatever's on your mind. But it's Tuesday, so we're getting past the last game, which we know we could have won. We've talked about it. We shot ourselves in the foot way too many times, so it sucks. But we talked about this team having bumpy roads with a new head coach, who's never been a head coach. Jalen Hurts taking the reins. All of these things, foreseeable future. So we're all very excited about this team. It's just, when you lose, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, especially like that. And Nick Sirianni took, I love that he took blame. He had some accountability. We did not have that with the prior coach. So you'd love to see that. Now I want to see how he adjusts, and he's got a tough task ahead. But I'm very excited about this team still. So let's go. You know it. Birds all day, every day. And we talk about this team building toward the future. So this year, I still think we could compete for that NFC East crown. This game is going to be huge for that. But we talk about maybe not a Super Bowl contender just yet. But I think if we keep building the right way, we are looking good for the future. So let's go. My man Mark in the building, Nina, everybody else, thank you so much for taking the time. So let's get this bad boy started. Today, we knew that this was going to happen. We talked about it yesterday. Brandon Brooks, Brandon Graham, both placed on IR. Unfortunately for Brandon Graham, that is season-ending IR. For Brandon Brooks, he has to at least miss 3 weeks. So his injury is about maybe a 4 to 6 week. They said we'll see if that's really how long it takes, but it's a pec strain. So it's not a tear, and it's not his damn legs, which we all know have been an issue. So I hope he heals up right, but we all know Landon Dickerson, baby, is sitting in the wings. So very excited about that. But we also signed someone to the active roster. You have to do that when you take them off someone's practice squad. But we added a guard to the rotation. Mr. Jack Anderson. Got him from the Bills there. He was a 7th-round pick, did not make the initial 53, but he did end up back on their practice squad. They protected him the first 2 weeks, so that goes to show you they really liked him. But there's that period there where, he has to revert back. And he's on the practice squad, but it just means he's free there. They can't protect him, and they couldn't anyway again. So he's ours now. Took him from their practice squad. I'm sure they liked him. They were really, I'm sure, watching things. This guy actually has the same agent as Lane Johnson. So I've actually reached out to my man, Gabe, from the Bro Barn. So, wanted to try to get an inside scoop on this dude, but says he's a really great dude. The Eagles got a stud. So he's 6'5", 315 pounds, and he has shorter arms. But this dude, apparently he's got a mean streak. He's a tough SOB. Sounds like he's going to fit Philly well. Everybody loves the tattoos he's got all over his arms. So, I mean, dude looks like a badass on the field. So let's hope he carries that attitude to the NFL. We'll see how he does. We're going to need some depth, but it looks like, he's a guard. He played predominantly right guard, but maybe could give some center depth there as well. So brings that versatility, brings the mean streak. I think he fits just what we're looking for. Then on the practice squad, we made some moves here. We added our guy, Richard Rodgers, back to the practice squad. Now with Zach Ertz, we all know that he was placed on the COVID-19 list yesterday. So that's very unfortunate. You hope that he gets through it, then can have a couple of positive tests. He doesn't. If he were unvaccinated, he would have to wait 10 days after he had he wasn't positive for COVID. He had a negative test, but now he just has to get a negative and then 2 days missed. So let's hope he gets a negative by Friday. We'll see. But if not, Richard Rodgers back in the building. We can bring him up. It doesn't matter whatever we do. We shall see. But we do have some openings on the active roster, so that'll be intriguing. Now, Richard Rodgers went to the practice squad. He's not on the active roster. We let go of Harry Kreider once again. He keeps moving, bouncing off and on. Best of luck to him. We'll see what happens. Maybe he comes back. But so we still have a couple open roster spots. We'll see if Ertz comes back, like I said. So maybe you don't want to really make a move there. But you put Graham and Brooks on the roster, on the IR. So you have 2 spots. You filled one with Anderson. You still got one available. So we'll see what the Eagles do there. And then speaking of practice squad, we protected our 4 guys. Today is Tuesday. With Wilson, Riley, and James, they will not be able to be protected again. You can only do that twice with these players. So this is their last time. Once that happens, they're on the practice squad. Anybody can take them off of our practice squad and sign them to their active roster. Sua Opeta, that's his first time on the roster. I'm sure because of the injuries, we're seeing what we can do there. But with Jack Anderson here, not so sure you would need to bring him up. I guess they like him. I don't think he's the greatest, but they're protecting him. So good for him. Nobody can sign him. I'll be real with you. I don't think they will. I don't think they would. I don't think it's going to happen, Eagles. Just be real with you. But let's go. That's right, Carlos. We got Landon Dickerson there to fill in at right guard, and I'm all about it. And we talked about this offseason, when the time comes, he will be able to fill in. I was hoping when it was retirement, but instead, here we are with the damn injury, which we know we get all the time, hoping that this young man can stay healthy. We're hoping. We'll see. Pryor, I can't believe we got something in return for Matt Pryor. So I'm with you, Carlos. Wow. Just wow. Yeah, dude, what is going on, my man? Bird Gang in the building. I'm doing great, man. Busy as hell. Finally back home, traveling all damn weekend. Losing my mind, only to see a loss. What a crazy, crazy weekend. Hopefully you are doing well, my man. But, dude, we're getting into this. We're going through the Eagles news. That is all of the Eagles news that we have for today. So now it's time we go behind enemy lines, Dallas Cowboys edition. So we know who these guys are fairly, but they have some injuries. They've got some rookies we've talked about when we did the NFC East breakdown. We talked about all the guys they've added, all that great stuff. But we're going to go through. We're going to talk about their coaches, all that stuff. We're going to take a gander at their team. And then, if you tune in throughout the week, we're going to go through the top 10 matchups. And then we're going to break down the roster analysis and pretty much find out who the better roster is. And this week, I'm not really looking forward to that. So stay tuned. It's going to be very, very entertaining week, full of content. Got some guests, so it's going to be a good time. But it's Dallas week, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go. First and foremost, the NFC East standings. We were atop. Now we are tied, but sitting in second. All that good stuff. Don't care. We need to win. We need to beat the Cowboys. A divisional win that'll be nice. We need to put that in our holster. We know that those are always tough battles. So let's go into their house. We know we finished the season with that. We got to win this game. We don't have to. Like I've said, this season is not like, we're Super Bowl bound. I just really feel this team's going to have some bumpy roads, but we had a little bit of a bumpy road on Sunday. So I want to see this team rebound right now and smack Dallas right in the mouth. Everybody's writing us off. Good for them. What they don't realize is they have Mike McCarthy as a head coach. That right there gives us the advantage. I'll be real with you. Kellen Moore, still the offensive coordinator there. Dan Quinn is now the defensive coordinator. He was the Falcons head coach there for a little while. And then he was actually the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. You guys remember the Legion of Boom. So, he's actually pretty good. And he's actually turning around that defense a little bit. And then you have John Fossil, who's actually, his dad was the man. He actually just passed away. Rest in peace to him. But John Fossil, pretty damn good special teams coordinator. So we've got some decent assistant coaches here, but their head coach, Not not necessarily saying he's one of the better ones in the league, but I'll leave it at that. But the team they have, the team he is leading is quite. And I'll be real with you, he's not the one leading it. This guy right here is the one leading it, and that's Dak Prescott. And he's pretty effing good. I think he has like 640 yards already in 2 games, and that's against the Buccaneers and the Chargers, who are 2 really good defenses. So we know what he's about, and our defenses actually look pretty impressive. But we have got ourselves a test with Dak Prescott here. Their backup's not so great, so they definitely want to hope that he stays healthy. And, I never want to see anybody get hurt. So I hope that he stays healthy, but we smack the living hell out of him, put him in the grass, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get some sacks, time to get some turnovers. Even the Dallas Cowboys are getting sacks and turnovers. Unacceptable, but the defense has been doing great. We talked about it. Definitely love where they're at. This is going to be quite the tough task ahead. So, first and foremost, some missed tackle things going on with the Eagles defense that I don't like, but they seem to be trying to clean things up, and that's, during the game, which I like to see. But Ezekiel Elliott, that's a tough dude. They didn't really use him too much the first week. You can't really run too much on Tampa Bay, but kind of went away from it regardless. Almost split with Tony Pollard. I believe it was like 16-13, something like that with the carries, but they both caught the ball. Think Pollard 3 times and Elliott 2, I want to say. But Tony Pollard, he's actually pretty damn good backup. And then we all know Corey Clement. So Super Bowl hero. We love the kid. Don't love that he's on the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe he gets some snaps. He's seen a couple, but maybe they try to use him in the passing game. They use all these guys in the passing game. So this is going to be a tough challenge ahead, man. We got to shut down the run. We got to shut down Zeke, man. And we've done it before, but he has definitely run all over us, and he definitely has that capability. It's going to be fun going through this matchup coming up because, my God, he's pretty good. But Rico Dowdle, a guy that's really helped them on special teams even, he's on IR. And then their one fullback that they had, Sewu Olanelua, he is on IR as well. So dealing with some injuries, you'll notice that trend a lot with these guys, but doesn't matter because – as you see, with our last opponent, we still got smacked around regardless. Cooper's not going to be 100%, and that is correct. We will talk about that in a second. Man. So we talk about, the running backs. We talk about Ezekiel Elliott and, what he can do. You shut that down, and obviously they're going to try to pass the ball regardless, but you can somewhat make them one-dimensional, get after Dak and try to stop. Dak Prescott will hit you with the quick slants. He will hit you, and the person is CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper, he's definitely somebody to fear, but CeeDee Lamb has been a beast. He had 8 catches last week, 7 the week before. I think Amari had like 13, but only had 2 catches this past Sunday against LA. Regardless, 2 very good wide receivers. So CeeDee Lamb predominantly plays in the slot, so we're going to see how we try to deal with that, whether it's Avonte Maddox, who you're going to try to challenge CeeDee Lamb with. Don't know if you'll have Slay or Nelson trying to play that slot role. Regardless, we're going to have a tough task ahead. CeeDee Lamb is effing good, and so is Amari Cooper. The one thing is Michael Gallup on IR. Once again, I don't want to see anyone hurt, but that definitely bodes well for the Eagles. Cedric Wilson's still decent, but he's not Michael Gallup, nor is Noah Brown or Simi Fehoko, who decent and I liked in the draft. Same with TJ Vasher, who was on the pup list down there. But regardless, the top 2 they have right there, going to give us problems. I thought, we handled Ayuk well, but he's had his struggles weirdly. I don't know why, but Deebo Samuel, man, a couple big plays against us. Not good. These guys are better, and Deebo Samuel's really good. I like him a lot. I'm just saying these guys are really, really good. They are going to be a problem. So you're going to have to get after Dak Prescott. Don't allow them to establish a run, because if they have a wide open playbook, we could have some trouble here. We talk about this game probably going to have to be a shootout if we want to win. And obviously, could be Booger McFarland here. You got to score more points here. Yeah, yes, you do. John Manuel, if you get, we know more points and we win the game. But we're going to have to put up a lot of points because this team can definitely do that. They only scored 20. It was 20-17. I think 29-31 in the first game against the Bucks. But regardless, this team, they've got a lot of firepower. Their defense is getting better, so concerning. Now, they've also got two decent tight ends, Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin back, Jeremy Sprinkle, who was added from Washington, Sean McKeon on IR. That doesn't matter to them. But, sometimes running, I think it was 20% last week they ran the 12 personnel. But other than that, they actually ran one of these guys or the other. And I think Dalton Schultz has actually been better than Blake Jarwin. So we talk about you got to watch out for both these guys. It's double trouble here, but we dealt with Atlanta pretty damn well with Hurts and Pitts there. So I think we can handle Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin. It's the receivers that truly, truly concern me. Now, that offensive line, that's a very good offensive line when fully healthy. Now, banged up, still pretty damn good. It's just not the same. Now, they got Zach Martin back, and that is huge for them. Obviously, I think he was like the PFF highest graded guy last week. Well, that's great. PFF, that's a whole different topic in itself. We take all that with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. But Connor Williams at left guard. You got Tyler Biadasz at center. Zach Martin at right guard. And now Terrence Steele at right tackle because Ty Nsekhe was dealing with some kind of heart issue there. So a little concerning. Don't want to see that. So he was supposed to start in place of La'el Collins, who is dealing with that suspension. So they're missing at least Collins. We'll see how Ty comes back. And then on IR is Josh Ball, the rookie, and Mitch Hyatt. So not really big deals to them. They got Connor McGovern, Brandon Knight, and Matt Farniok as depth there. So a pretty good offensive line. I still think our defensive line, I know that Brandon Graham is out, and that's huge. That is. But this is Milton Williams. You're going to see why we drafted him. He's going to get thrown in the fire. Maybe he has some time getting ready, getting used to things. But if you guys watch, and more, was it rough to rewatch that game? If you pay attention, this team is a 3-4 defense for the most part. We run a certain nickel when we have to, certain things, but when you're in 3-4, you kind of have a nickel approach to things. It's just not that third nickel corner. It's the big nickel with 3 safety. We had one time, which I thought we would run more. So there's different variations we're getting here, but for the most part, it's the 3-4. And I think this week you're going to see less 3-4, more nickel because of the fact that CeeDee Lamb, they're going to have multiple wide receivers out there. Regardless, we're going to have to change things up a little bit. Brandon Graham not being there. I do not like Ryan Kerrigan as a defensive end in a 3-4. As an outside linebacker, yeah, a pass rusher. He's not getting it done when he needs to. And I know he's coming back from a thumb injury, whatever. But Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, getting it done. Love that. Throw in Milton Williams there. That's nasty in a 3-4. But when you're talking about, a 4-3 or a nickel, whatever, you have a 4-man front. Talk about Hargrave, Cox, and then on the outside, you got Sweat. You just paid him, use him more than 28 snaps, and then have Milton Williams or Derek Barnett, whatever you want to do. But if you want to continue that 3-4, okay. But Brandon Graham is somebody that can get that done. He can play that defensive end role well, and he can even play a defensive tackle. You can move him around. So he could even stand up if you wanted to. You remember in Billy Davis defense with Chip Kelly. So he can do it. It's just he's out for the season. That's unfortunate. You want to see Teron Jackson step it up. Once again, I don't know if these guys that we have here are that mold of defensive end that you want. The only person we have that I like there is Milton Williams. And that's why I kind of think you need more of a 4-man front. But I think we'll still continue to use that 3-man front. But maybe Cox playing more defensive end, Ridgeway coming in inside. And Cox, you've heard of his struggles, and he's whatever, dude. He's getting double teamed. There's certain things. I think he's going to be just fine, but there's ways you can move him around too. So I still think that this defense is still going to be pretty damn good. People, think Brandon Graham being out, that's major. Do not misconstrue what I am saying, because he is awesome, and we will dearly miss him, especially, in the locker room as well. So it's a big blow, and, he can be there pumping us up and everything, but I'm just saying, man, with him, so it's unfortunate, but I still believe in the young guys we got, and we loaded up on talent. It's just maybe you make a move for a guy that fits that 3-4 mold as a defensive end more than any of these other guys do. And you use the guys you like as the outside linebacker more than anything else as you're looking at, Derek Barnett being used that way and Jannard Avery starting on the other side. And I know he's the Sam linebacker, but there's certain roles, and we've talked about Derek Barnett could play that same role. Dude, you've heard me all offseason. I talked about Derek Barnett should have a stand-up rusher role. That's exactly what he is doing. And it's because we have a 3-4, but we talked about multiple fronts, multiple schemes, and that's exactly what Jonathan Gannon is all about. So it's yeah, it's fun, and I'm excited, dude. So let's just done pretty decent against a couple of really good tight ends to start the year. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Theo, I'll be real with you. We stopped Hurst and Pitts, as I mentioned, and I think that stopping Kittle, I think you have 4 catches for 17 yards. It's pretty good. So let's shut these guys down. And obviously, the wide receivers are going to open things up for them. So we got to watch out. We got to hope that maybe Davian Taylor's healthy, more of a coverage linebacker, whereas Eric Wilson and Alex Singleton, not exactly the greatest in coverage. Love their tenacity, love the tackling, love, against the run. But yeah, work on that coverage still. I don't know how much you can work. There's only so much you can do. But talking about that front, man, I really think that this defense can still get somewhere, still got one of the better ones. And I think Kerrigan getting healthier, Tron Jackson continuing to get better, as much as the same for Milton Williams. He's really good, but he's only going to get better. So you can still use Barnett, Sweat. We've got guys that, and I'm excited about it, dude. These guys that we wanted to see, they're going to get more time. I'm intrigued to see how Jonathan Gannon plays this. And look, we've talked about it. It's all going to depend on the team you're facing. So I think, that obviously matters each week, but there's certain things that you can tell Jonathan Gannon likes to do. So I'm, very intrigued to see. Definitely more nickel against the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, but then they can eat you up with running the ball. So not so sure with the team we have that you want to go 3-4 so much with Ezekiel Elliott and everything. So we shall see. It just really depends on how you're running it, what play calls you're using. So regardless, we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Now, getting on to their defense, we've talked about they are improving, Dan Quinn, all that great stuff, but still, not as great as their offense. And I think we can definitely get after these guys. We talk about it being a shootout. Our offensive line losing Brandon Brooks is major, but Landon Dickerson, he's going to continue to get better, up to speed. And I think it's going to be exciting to watch what happens here with this offensive line with him inserted into it. Hopefully everybody else stays healthy. But we've got ourselves a tough task. Now, the Dallas Cowboys also are kind of like us when it comes to, the multiple schemes, multiple fronts. They run a 3-4, a 4-3. They'll run whatever the hell they need to. But nickel a lot of the time, actually, almost 3/4 of the time, I noticed that Jordan Lewis was out there, their nickel corner. So sometimes they're running 3 linemen with 3 linebackers, and they've got some versatile guys. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but they've got some injuries forcing people to other areas of the field. So let's talk about that. The defensive line, I just put this all together because, so let's just say they're running with a 3-4. Randy Gregory off of the COVID-19 list now. Talk about Osa Odigizwa. Oh, he is really stepped it up as a rookie. I think he's going to come out here and obviously wreak some havoc on the inside if Landon Dickerson doesn't, step his game up. And I think he will. But come on, young man. And then beyond that, on the IR is DeMarcus Lawrence. Let's just say that's why he's not on there. Neville Gallimore would be in the middle as well. But these other guys have stepped it up. Same goes for Tristan Hill, who's on the PUP list. 2 guys in the middle, Hill and Gallimore, who thought to be starters. DeMarcus Lawrence, a starter. So missing some guys, but their other guys are stepping it up. You guys know I like Bradley and Nye in the draft last year. So hate seeing him with the Cowboys, but they got Bohanna to help in the middle. Golston is an edge rusher. Azur Kamara. They've got some young talent. Brent Urban, who used to play for the Bears. I think he played for the Texans maybe too, but regardless, he can play inside, outside. Dorrance Armstrong got some snaps outside. Carlos Watkins can play inside and outside. And then Terrell Basham, one of those guys that can play defensive line, outside linebacker, the whole deal. So they've got some guys that are going to need to step it up with the guys that are missing. But one of the things they were talking about, and I saw, was they were using Micah Parsons as somebody that lines up as one of those outside linebackers on the defensive line. So he's somebody that hasn't done that for years, but he can. He is a monster, and I hate the fact that he is a Dallas Cowboy. So speaking of those linebackers, you talk about Micah Parsons. He is a stud, and he will be a stud for them in the middle for a very long time. But with these injuries, he's been helping on the outside. So we shall see. Gotta get after what, yeah, man, and that's it, and he's going to try those quick slants. We talked about that, I think Carlos mentioned that earlier, or maybe it was Theo, but yeah, you got to get after the quarterback. Obviously, we want to do that all the time, but we'll see if we have any blitz packages set up this week, which I think we definitely could, because you want to attack, but you got to be careful with their run. So watch how you're bringing that blitz, who you're bringing. We shall see there, but I agree with you, man. Now, their defense, Keanu Neal, we talked about they were signing him to play that linebacker role. He is doing well there, and looks, like Parsons and Neal are actually taking over more snaps than Vander Esch and Smith, which is wild because I've always thought they were pretty good. And obviously they've fallen off a little, but yeah, they've got themselves a pretty damn good squad there. So these guys, you could see 3-4 of them on the field at the same time. So don't be surprised Jabril Cox gets sprinkled in there, his coverage abilities. So he got a few last week, a little more. I don't even know if he played the first game, but I know he got some last week. Then you talk about, this week with our passing attack, I think he'll probably be out there, try to maybe spy. We'll see what we do there, or what they do there. So let's go Birds. Don't let these linebackers shut you down, but they definitely have the opportunity. I don't like the fact that they're getting better. I always hate that. And they definitely are. So that sucks. You look at their defensive line and linebackers, and pretty talented. Then you go on to the secondary. Their cornerbacks, Trevon Diggs, man, he was looking pretty bad last year, but hey, man, he's a rookie. People, it takes time, and he's looking pretty good. Had a pretty good interception this past Sunday, and man, he's looking pretty decent. Anthony Brown stepping his game up a little bit, but maybe they'll show their true colors, and Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor can whoop that ass, along with Quez Watkins, Greg Ward, if he's not throwing weird passes 10 yards over people's heads on fourth down. Why would you throw it away? Regardless. We're talking about Jordan Lewis. He was playing almost 75% of the snaps. They're in nickel a lot. But once again, it's all about matchups. So we shall see how much they have to run the nickel against us, but I could see them being in it a lot. Deshaun Wright, Maurice Canady, CJ Goodwin, the rookie Kelvin Joseph, unfortunately on the IR, and Reggie Robinson as well, someone they were going to try out as safety as well. So we shall see what these corners can do against our receivers. But our receivers went up against some back-end guys, some rookies, and I like Lenoir a lot out of Oregon. And, dude, it sucks that we had the game we did, Devontae, it just the calls that came back, and it was rough, but we got a chance to attack this defense, put up some damn points. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And now the safeties, they were actually, Donovan Wilson was out last week. We shall see if he is back, but they have got a loaded safety room, just like their linebackers. So they are definitely improving, and as they play together more, they will definitely get better, and that is concerning. Devontae Kazee with a pretty damn good interception this past Sunday. I think he and Curse took most of the snaps, so I just threw those two guys up there. But Malik Hooker was just getting up to speed, getting back his first game with the Cowboys. I hate that he's with the Cowboys. And then Darian Thompson, who was presumed to be a starter as well. So they've got some guys that can definitely, they've run multiple sets. We talk about 3 safety sets. So we shall see how they come at us, but they've got a pretty good safety room. I cannot wait to do the roster comparison and see who the better team is. I don't want to do that because they have a really good roster, and that sucks. But we'll get into it. And I really, I can't wait for Monday, but I hate waiting all the way till Monday. Now let's get into the special teams. You cannot forget special teams. Now, the past few teams we've played, they use their best players back there in the return game. Tony Pollard, a backup running back. We also use our backup running back, Kenny Gainwell. They've got Tony Pollard back there, and he's one of the better returners. So, yikes. Then you've got C.D. Lamb. we know how damn talented he is with the ball in his hand, so they put him back there on punt return. We also have our receiver, Rager, back there. But these two, yeah, that's concerning. Our special teams have done pretty well, so let's keep it up. We've shut down one of the better returners of all time in Cordero Patterson. We didn't let Ayuk or any of those guys do anything. So excited to see if we could stop these guys in the special teams game. And then we want to see more of their special teams when we shut Dak Prescott down and maybe get some missed field goals, some blocked field goals, because Greg Zuerlein, he was 2 for 2 this past week, and he did hit that game-winning field goal. So, yeah, whatever. He still is not where he was a couple years ago. But, yeah, they got Greg Zuerlein at kicker, Brian Anger, they brought in from Houston, I believe, and then McQuaid is from L.A., I want to say. So both McQuaid and Zuerlein came over from L.A. with the coordinator there. So, hey-oh, good for them. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was behind enemy lines with the Dallas Cowboys. And we all know the Cowboys suck, right? That is something. Oh, we still got that banner there. Let that run. But ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a tough task for the Philadelphia Eagles. Diggs and Parsons, yeah, they've got some pretty damn good defensive players. They added Kazee, they added Neal, they added Malik Hooker's there now. Jaron Curse was getting snaps. So they've got a pretty good time. So King Austin, any stories from being at the game? I could tell you plenty. Tell me if you're coming to the next game, because if you missed it, you guys missed out on one of the better times I've had. And after the weekend I had leading up to it, may God help us all. It was truly an experience to be with the 4th and John guys again and be at a tailgate to see all and meet some of you guys, taking pictures with everybody, dude, just basking in the moment, man. It was truly a glorious time. So some insane times, got some wild chants going. The DJ had the Jason Kelsey speech going before the game, so everybody's losing their minds. Oh man, it was a pretty wild time. But hey, let's be real. It was tough to lose, and it's always tough to go there and lose. But I'll be honest with you. Anytime I get to go, I feel pretty good. I ended up myself having like a panic attack at the game. Like, dude, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I don't know if it's maybe because I haven't been around people. I was up super high. I thought it was like maybe vertigo or something. We were like, dude, up on all the way at the top next to the guardrail. He got the best of me, man. I'll tell you what. But I ran into some cool people. The guy Fuji that has his own show. I ran into my buddy Chris, and then I ran into Spencer Lowy, which was really cool, man. Got to talk to him for a while. So everything turned out for the best, man. And dude, it's awesome being at the stadium and people calling me out like, hey, and it's like, what? That's nuts that people recognize me, because I cannot remember my own name half the time. So I apologize if I can't remember your name or anything like that. I tried so much, but I drive myself insane by doing all of these things. So, but no, it was an amazing time. And then afterwards, I had an amazing time. Got to see some family, got to spend some time with the woman, drove all the way back home, passed out pretty effing early after quite an experience. But dude, anytime you can go to the link, it is truly quite the experience. And I haven't been there in years upon years. It was weird. You guys know I have cirrhosis, all kinds of stuff. So with the COVID, everything, it was, dude, it was very intriguing. But I stayed as safe as I possibly could. I know we were outside, so just tried to stay away. But it was awesome just getting to see people, getting to be at the link. So if you get a chance, even if you can't go in, if you live close, stop by, have yourself a good time. There's free pizza, free beer, free everything that your heart could desire, whatever you're into. I'm not into all of the things that, everybody is into, but I'll tell you what, I'll help you get into the things you're into. We sure had ourselves a good old time. So I really think that people really missed that experience, so being back together, I know it wasn't just me that felt that way. So if you get an opportunity, please stop down, have yourself a great time at a 4th and John tailgate, because, oh my God, it was like, and it made it easier to leave the game, because it was just like, because there were so many opportunities that team had, and with them not calling the delay game at the end, it was just All the things, they pile up, and you're just like, well, what did I say before the season started? Don't get pissed off because you have to temper your expectations. There's going to be bumpy roads ahead. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm trying. It's okay. New head coach and everything he said. I had the coaches meetings, all this, that, the other thing. He's holding himself accountable, holding everyone accountable, not just the players, the coaches, everybody. So let's hope they come out swinging against the Dallas Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen, this Monday night. But I'm going to get rolling out. I hope you appreciated the show. If you need anything, you can always reach out to me. I appreciate you checking me out on all of these platforms. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing on the YouTube channel. Very grateful for all of you that do. We are going to continue pumping out content every day. Talking our birds, because this team is heading in the right direction, whether people want to admit it, feel it, see it, whatever. It's there. And I think, we have to look at what they're building toward. It's not going to be there just yet. They're going to have mistakes. So let's look at the positive here, ladies and gentlemen. This team is heading in the right direction. So I thank you all for taking the time on this beautiful Tuesday night. If you need anything, you want to talk some birds, you want to talk about life, whatever it may be, please feel free to reach out to me. Whatever you're looking for, people reach out. Tickets, I could try to help you find something. You need a stream for the show, whatever it is. Let me know. Always here to help you guys. Carlos, King Austin, Mark, everybody that tuned in, Theo, Nina, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time. Everybody, if you're just watching, not even comment, I appreciate you too. If you're watching this later, you want to comment on the video, you have your thoughts, opinions on the Cowboys, on the Eagles, on this matchup, you let me know. Always try to get back to you guys. Always down to talk some birds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a great night. I'm rolling. Be safe. And as always, go birds!